I gotta say, as far as nicknames go, Novocaine, kinda badass.
As you start getting into the logistics of how we're gonna pull this movie off, you start looking around at all over the world at locations where you can shoot it. And when I spoke to some friends who had worked in Cape Town recently, they were saying how incredible the experience was, how incredible the crews were, how amazing the city is.
Cape Town was an idea that came up. We were, as you always do on these movies, you're trying to make the budget work. And we'd always wanted to work in South Africa. We knew that it could be something that could really be cost effective for us and be able to stretch the dollar and do all the tricks and not have to cut, some of these incredible action scenes.
Cape Town, we were looking for a place that could double as San Diego, and I think Cape Town is just an incredible fit for pulling off Southern California. The weather, the vibe, it just reads in so many ways, in so many places as different parts of Southern California.
I got to Cape Town about 2 weeks early so that we could start prepping with the stunt team, and we have a trainer who's also a nutritionist, and so we really, I think, all have been quite dedicated to fulfilling the action as much as we possibly can, because as much as this is a story with a lot of heart, it's also an action movie.
It's actually been really fun to have this opportunity to kind of just go full gear and see how much you can change your body. I kind of land in South Africa, which is an amazing place, and immediately they're like, you're going to base camp, you're working out with the Bulgarians.
I did a lot of training for this role. I had to get on a pretty strict workout regimen. I did that a couple months in advance. And then I got out here and I started doing a lot of stunt training. And our stunt team is unbelievable. Stanny, my double Christo, who's taking the major hits in the movie. From the very beginning, as soon as I touched down in Cape Town, they were just leading me through every single stunt sequence, making sure that not only was I comfortable with every single move, but that I got to inject a little bit of the character into it.
Our stunt team, Stanny, has just done an incredible job. They trained all of our cast to be able to deliver. And a lot of the action, you're seeing our actors do a lot of it, but the stunt team, when they jump in there, are just the best.
Hey man, I don't want to fight, okay? I'm not that guy. I just want to...
Our broad philosophy with the fight scenes in this movie were that we wanted each of them to feel like a very kind of unique ecosystem and a unique environment, unique arena.
We brought Stanny on because he's a brawler of a fight coordinator. His best stuff isn't the fancy kung fu, all this and that. It's people being thrown through windows and grabbing objects, bashing each other. There's a grittiness to his style with a real mind for safety and a real care for the actors and the doubles. Working with him, you feel incredibly badass, but also very well taken care of and safe.
Let me show you how it's done.
Every other action movie you see, it's usually an ex-assassin fighting a special forces guy, and they both know how to fight, and everyone's doing cool karate the whole time. And this is not that. This is somebody who's flailing, who's trying to survive, who's trying to use their environment around them, use this genetic condition that they have to their advantage. He can't feel pain. And so you need to build that into the choreography, and that's where a regular person might wince here and look up like this, and he's not gonna do that because he can't feel anything, and so that's a challenge, not only for us and for Stanny, but for Jack too. He has to still be able to sell emotion while being hit, but not pain, and that's difficult.
It's been really interesting working out the choreography for stunt scenes and making sure that I don't wince, and making sure that I don't show any pain on my face. I've gotten used to it now, but it will ruin me for other jobs where I just won't react.
No hard feelings, right?
Sure.
Feelings. Get it?
It's so clever.
Kara, our production designer, did a great job of giving this movie a timeless vibe. There's little things that just place this movie in a little more bygone era, and that's something that we felt like really goes along with that more throwback tone.
The production designer takes care of the look of the movie, and so it's the world. I make the world. Nate starts out in this very smooth, textureless, bland world.
Yeah, big time.
Yes. Yeah. Nate's apartment, it's gray. I mean, it's nice, but it's his world, his cocoon, so it's all about his books, his guitars, his gaming setup, of course.
Hey man, I'm sorry, my head's not in this right now. Can I call you back a little later?
Oh, sure, yeah. I'll just go fuck myself.
Okay, thanks.
And everything there has been sort of baby-proofed. He has cocooned himself, quite literally, since the age of 6.
I have a genetic disorder. It's called SEPA, and it basically makes it so I can't feel pain.
You know, when we first meet Nate, he's living this very sheltered life, and so we wanted the early portion of the film to have a look that was a little bit more static, a little bit more structured, you know, a lot of locked off shots and smooth, steady cam, things like that. And then basically as soon as his world is turned upside down, we wanted to give a little bit of that flavor to the visuals. And so that's where things feel, you know, a lot more frenetic, a lot more handheld. Our DP, Jacques Jouffret, is the perfect DP for that. He has a great resume that's filled with all kinds of incredible action.
But we still have a lot of fondness for just two people talking scenes. And, you know, the scenes where Nate and Sherry are really falling in love in Act 1 were a real pleasure to shoot and to direct.
If you don't have anybody you care about, it's harder to get hurt, right?
Amber and Jack are great friends off screen, which really lays a quiet foundation for their roles. You can really feel that they admire each other and that they genuinely like each other, because in real life, they genuinely do. And that allows their natural charisma that each of them have to really spark when they come together. We have just been so enjoying seeing the two of them. You really need them to feel in love. You need to feel like there's a kinetic energy between the two of them to carry the whole movie.
I could bite my tongue off.
You're not gonna bite your tongue off, Nate.
And when you see them in that diner scene, you know that the whole movie's gonna work.
If anything goes wrong, I'm right here.
So I probably ate about 2 or 3 actual huge pies, but my God, they had me on such a strict diet for this movie, and that was the most delicious day of my life. That might have been my favorite day of shooting, because all I did was eat pie. It was truly wonderful.
Pie's good.
Congratulations.
Whoa!
The stuff in Nate's apartment was our first day of shooting, which was like very intense. It was quite an intense way to start, but I think we had been rehearsing for a couple weeks and we all had been talking about that scene for what felt like a while at that time. So I think kind of just getting that out of our systems was actually a really lovely way to start, and I think got us all very comfortable.
Definitely feeling something.
This movie is being built in such a unique way that every action sequence in it feels unique.
Look, man, I don't want any trouble. I just want to know where Sherry is.
And every action sequence in the movie has a sense of humor to it. It's survival. It's trying to survive against people who are bigger than you and stronger than you and have more capabilities than you, but using his special superpower, if you will, of not feeling pain to survive these things, and infusing that unique brand of Jack Quaid humor to it, I think is what makes them special. So the kitchen sequence is incredibly dynamic.
The idea of a kitchen is just the ultimate gauntlet or playground for someone with Nate's condition. Dragging him through the kitchen from location to location, from station to station, is part of the fun of it. And you know that Nate's not gonna win this fight if it's fair. So how is he gonna come up with a way to put the odds in his favor? I knew it was gonna end with the gun ending up in the deep fryer. And you know, he's got to reach in there and get it.
Hey man, you okay?
Looks like you've already had some work done today.
You should see the other guy.
The tattoo parlor fight, great set piece, great location and environment to have a lot of fun. And Zeno, we knew was gonna be the biggest, scariest guy imaginable. So Nate, once again, was gonna have to be using his ingenuity to not only weaponize himself, but to get himself out of trouble.
For the tattoo parlor, we wanted to use a lot more slow motion, because there's people kind of flying across rooms, and there's a lot of glass and shattering glass and glass raining down and all that. We have a stunt person being thrown into a massive, 10-foot tall by 6-foot wide mirror.
And the mirror just rains down on him, all the glass and all that. And you see all of it in slow motion, all the glass shards, and it just looks great. Then you have the character punching his hands into glass and creating what we call glass knuckles. It's a perfect example, the tattoo parlor, of all the different departments working in synergy together in such an incredible way, where you have stunts and hair and makeup and props, camera department, all the different departments. Okay, shoot. All working as one to pull these sequences off, and it's just incredible to watch.
North Tower
Lane. Ben's house was really its own kind of standalone set piece. And it was really just for the fun of this kind of Home Alone adventure of creating all of these fun booby traps that Nate then has to overcome.
There's a snare trap sequence where Jack's character gets flipped upside down.
I had to hang upside down for 2 or 3 scenes.
He just was such a trooper, and he just went in there every single day and was delivering funny lines while he's literally upside down.
You don't know if you can handle that until you're up there. And I found that I was right. I predicted that it would be diminishing returns throughout the day. So when I first got up there, I was like, let's just do as much of this as possible. Because by the end of the day, I definitely was feeling a little lightheaded.
Just make it quick. There's no need to draw this out.
I got a better idea.
This scene was our favorite scene in the movie, and we're like, this guy can't feel pain. There simply must be a scene where he's being tortured and has to buy time by pretending that he can feel pain.
Think about that. You understand pain?
Yeah, I hate it so much.
And in our heads, we were just thinking all along, like, this scene is gonna be gold.
This is bad!
And it was just such a relief where as soon as we started shooting it, no one could keep a straight face. Jack was so funny. There were a couple blown takes because the crew couldn't stop laughing.
Oh! Oh, wow!
You're also genuinely grossed out by the fact that they're like removing his fingernails and jiggling the arrow that's lodged in his leg around. That was a very fun day.
The ambulance seemed like a great sequence to not only get them on the move, not only kind of bring them all to the same place, but to ultimately show how far Nate is willing to go.
An ambulance plays a very, very big role in the end of this movie. So our incredible art department, led by Kara Lindstrom, our production designer, they had to build from scratch 2 ambulances because there's no American-style ambulances in Cape Town.
American ambulances don't exist here. So we had to build the entire thing. The ambulance was fun. I thought a lot about ambulances. I didn't know much about it before.
And what Carr has done is build the interior of the ambulance at basically like 1.25x. So it's a little bit bigger than a real ambulance because we need to be able to get our cameras in there, stage a fight scene in there. We have a rig that Cordell, our incredible special effects guy, has built that is essentially a giant metal box that holds the body of the ambulance in it. And so when we flip that ambulance, that box will rotate with our actors in it, our stunt doubles in it.
The interior of the ambulance, it all had to be soft with the stunts. So the whole thing is upholstered.
I like that you're making me earn it, Bank Boy. We gotta wrap this up.
I always knew that in writing the story, I wanted Nate to ultimately have to sacrifice himself, destroy himself further to stop Simon. In this last sequence, Sherry's being threatened and her life is at stake, and he breaks himself to save Sherry, and he's so broken that ultimately Sherry must save him in return. It's very extreme, but it's also hugely climactic and something that no one's ever really seen before and lines up perfectly with the theme and the characters.
I love you. You're really cool.
Do you know what it's like to wait your whole life to meet someone? Someone who finally gives your life meaning? Would you wait around for someone else to save her? Or would you do it yourself?
That's the ultimate theme of the story, is that here's a guy who's willing to risk all for love, and he was willing to risk life and limb, literally.
What happened? You've had some major blood loss and a heart attack and a brain hemorrhage and third-degree burns and a lot of broken bones. But still, you're alive.
To me, it was, how do we create diverse scenarios that utilize this condition in as many ways as possible while remaining emotional and character driven.
I'll see you soon, Novocaine.